Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Good morning to you and happy Mercury's Day. We have a waxing gibbous moon. We are in Taurus season, the Celtic tree month of Hawthorn, Beaver season, and the Pluto retrograde. Now if I can get my slide. There we go. The slides wasn't cooperating, but we're good now. Today, the sun is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. The moon begins the day in first quarter Leo, fixed fire, representing enthusiasm. At 6:48 a.m. Central Time, we begin the second quarter. And then at 11:41 a.m. Central Time, the moon goes void of course. And then at 4:33 p.m. Central Time, the moon will enter second quarter Virgo, a mutable earth sign representing meticulousness. Mercury is in Aries, a cardinal fire sign representing alertness. Then at 12:05 p.m. Central Time, it will enter Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign representing practicality. Venus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing artistry. Mars is in Aries, cardinal fire, representing initiative. Jupiter is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. Saturn is in Pisces, mutable water, representing imagination. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. Neptune is in Pisces, mutable water, representing imagination. Pluto is retrograding Aquarius, fixed air, meaning that we need to examine our intentions and remember our Pluto retrograde, reflect, heal, and evolve. So for the waxing gibbous stage of the moon, it is the time to move beyond brainstorming and go on to cultivating those intentions. So it's very good, important that we know exactly what it is we're wanting to accomplish the cycle by now. Then for the Virgo moon, remember to do focus, do organize, and do edit. Don't get lost in undue criticism. Don't get lost in perfectionism, and try to avoid being micromanaging. Now, as Mercury is moving into the pragmatic Taurus, that creates an atmosphere in which people may be more amenable towards making practical compromises. However, the moon in Virgo, if we allow that Virgo energy to go unchecked, it may throw a bit of a spanner in the works by allowing the perfect to become the enemy of the good. So just be wary of that. Sometimes it's better just to make progress, even if that progress isn't as far as what we would like it, or if it is falling short of what our ultimate goal is. If we are at least moving in the proper direction, sometimes that's enough. It isn't always satisfying, but sometimes it actually is enough for the time being. Next up, our tarot card is the Ten of Swords, another delightful card. We have had a lot of swords coming up in the tarot this month. But the Ten of Swords essentially represents that moment of your worst fears have been realized. This is the rock bottom. You might think it is the new normal, but things are just not so good, not so pleasant. It is essentially the low point of trauma, which is a very difficult place to be, but it also simplifies everything. When you are at essentially what the lowest point is, you might be the worst fears realized, but it also means that the worst is over and the only direction to go is up. It may be quite the climb for us, but it is going to be ultimately we're going to be okay. It's just not going to be necessarily very fun in the meantime, but we will eventually be okay because we've gotten to the end point of a particular path. Today's Celtic Triad reads 3 things to be commended in anyone: their face proud, their discourse discreet, and their ways kind. So the proud face, this is pride, not arrogance. So think confidence, someone who has truly mastered themselves and who holds themselves up to an honorable standard. Then discreet discourse, having a sense of what is fitting in conversation, knowing when to speak, when to be silent, and also knowing how to phrase things tactfully. We have a number of people in our society who are trying to throw away the idea of tact, saying, well, if someone can't take me speaking the truth, then that's on them and they just need to toughen up. And I thought, no, first of all, you might share your perspective with someone, but that's not the same thing as always being factual. It's not the same thing as the truth. You have offered a perspective, an opinion, something that is based upon your knowledge of a situation. But It may be aligned with the truth, it may be aligned with fact, or it may not. You might be missing pieces of the puzzle, or you might be a little bit arrogant and making assumptions and not really adopting a tone that would get the message across in a way that's going to be actually listened to. You don't have to baby people. You don't have to needlessly tickle their ears in order to speak to them respectfully, in a straightforward way, but still respectfully. That is what discrete discourse is all about. It's about making sure your focus is upon actual communication, getting the message through, rather than just saying people just have to put up with me however I happen to be. No, you don't. People don't have to put up with you being an asshole. I mean, it's amazing how a lot of the people who will defend their right to be assholes to everyone else, they have a very low threshold tolerance of anyone being an asshole back towards them. Funny that. Then kind ways, choosing to treat people with cordial respect, having goodwill in general, and practicing benevolence. These things all put together, these are things that are worthy of being looked up to. These are things that it suggests that someone has taken a hold of themselves, that they are working on their own personal traits, and that they are cultivating their character in such a way to where they can face the world in a dignified and honorable fashion, and that they are someone who's being a force for good rather than a force for, nastiness. Today's magical intention is rebirth. The color is brown. The plant is the elder tree. The animal is the deer. And the crystal, again, is we're using it as how a material is being used rather than a scientific classification. The crystal is petrified wood. Now, in order to be reborn, something has to end first, and it has to end decisively. And it's only at that point that renewal can take place. So if we have been struggling with our ability to be reborn, perhaps into another chapter, we could do worse than to examine if we are still clinging to what was, to the old, to something that really did need to come to an end, and perhaps it did, except in our own hearts. Allowing something to end within our hearts, that is going to be a necessary step for us to really renew. And this would include any kind of emotional hurts that we're trying to recover from as well. Now, today's pagan practice suggestions. It's the 15th, so it is time for that New Year's resolution checkup. How are you? What did you declare yourself wanting to do and accomplish in January? And how is that list coming? The nagging will continue. You honor a wisdom deity today. Reflect upon the unique insights that the masculine and the feminine perspective can provide, because we are coming from different vantage points. Our bodies are made differently. Our instincts are made a little bit differently. We are bringing different things to the world, and so we have different insights to share. We have different perspectives to share, and there's a great deal of benefit of taking information on board from both. Do some divination today, and if you can, read a passage of Aristotle. He is the true father of Western civilization, so kind of important to have a sense of what Aristotle taught and what he believed. Now, today's journal prompt is to brainstorm a Samhain-themed hand fasting. This could be so much fun, particularly for any of the witches who watch this channel. How would you do a Samhain hand fasting, whether it was for yourself or perhaps a child, if they decided they wanted to do this and they let you to be pretty active in the planning? What ideas do you have? Or if if you were helping another pagan plan their hand fasting and they wanted it at Samhain. And Samhain could be a very interesting and magically significant time to bring people together. The spiritual New Year's ending. The spirits are roving about in a very powerful way, and then you have this ending of your old life as being single, and then this beginning of facing that spiritual new year together as a married couple. That could be a pretty potent ceremony, especially if you went about it the right way. So just contemplate that, see what you come up with, and if you have thoughts on that subject or anything else that we covered here today in the forecast, let me know in the comments section, or send me an email at brigantiablackbird@protonmail.com, and we can chat there. But that'll do it for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.